Hi, this is me. I Get Real. It's a check-in video, and I have made a bunch of check-in videos, and I haven't posted them because of safety issues that I have with certain people who live on this planet. And it's really annoying that I feel like I'm blocked from doing my dreams. So I'm gonna. What was the last? It was like an epiphany. It's okay. So a couple years ago, it was. Well, like last year was draw a line in the sand, or this year and last year, take a step. Now I'm on to my life, and in the back is my past. The stuff behind me is from, I'm selling everything I own, so I have, my arm is like out. I got in a car accident, and I got injured, and it's like really messing with me this week. I have packaging materials, I have boxes, I have all of my stuff that I wanted to sell, all the stuff I wanted to keep for my office and my home, which we were supposed to buy a house in 2011 through this housing program, the one I live in, and they took all my money and kicked me out of the program because they wanted me to restart the program, and I was actually over 3/4 of the way through. I just had to take one class, but I did all the requirements. Part of me wants to spend time saying, give me my money back. Part of me wants to say, no, let me finish that last class. But it's like, the first time they screw you over, you're like, I am suffering and I'm struggling. And if these people know full well that I have a copy and they have a copy that I completed all the requirements and they still choose to lie and keep me from home ownership, then I feel like I should buy a yurt or something like used. Like I just feel like it's, I've been told I'm too black or too poor to not drink tap water or to eat fruits and vegetables and nuts. I've been told I'm too poor to think about certain things. Like my son was struggling, and I found a really good school next to my medical school, and they didn't tell me, these people were kind of jerks, they wouldn't tell me their low income rate. They're like, oh, get a rich relative to pay for it. I was like, no, this is my kid, this is not the kid's dad, this is not the kid's mom, this is not a family member. Like, and this family member yelled at me and said, you know, you and your kid are jerks because you're not going to free public school. But there's so many options of Montessori school, magnet schools, homeschool, web academies, like early college, traditional schools, private schools, schools in certain neighborhoods that have emphasis on certain things. My kids were in a magnet school, and it was really hard to go back out in the real world. I had a client that me and a group of people are working with a couple years ago, and they went to the school district where my daughter went to preschool. And I was like, wow, this is an amazing place in the neighborhood, just because everybody had pane glass windows, or what are the ones I always think of Anne of Green Gables, like the metal inside, not just pane glass, the ones with the metal and it's like kind of lattice and diagonals. I love that. And they had like these huge houses, and they actually had a piano in a room that's mainly a piano. They'd have these big wall windows with like benches or like built-in seating areas, and we have like a piano inside with a couch next to another couch next to all this furniture. Like, it's all cramped in this little spot, like the size between me and the back of that closet. And I'm like, this is not beautiful. Like, this is not made for a professional file cabinet and like a big clunky one and a couch and another couch and a piano and your artist studio. It's not, this place is designed for maybe a couch. A lot of my neighbors didn't even have couches. You literally would sit on a rug and then they have a couch and not have a couch. I gotta get my water. This is a check-in video. Help me to get 10,000 or at least 1,000 lifetime views. I had monetized a few of my videos when I was in medical school. I had no monetized because I wanted to share my experience, strength, and hope. And then I got really broke and lost a job, so I monetized videos. I never received a penny And I lost a job because of a car accident while I was doing my training for a medical program that I was in. And I've completed all the training steps. I just haven't completed getting some signatures. So I got to camp out a couple of places and get the rest of the signatures. I might actually take some in tomorrow and just throw it down. I really want to say like that I'm like I got stoked. Like I was at the big hospital taking a neonatal resuscitation program class, and I took it online. And you take half of it online and half of it on the computer. You take 2 exams online, and it's BSIM. And I was sweating during the first exam. I was like so sweaty, like oh my god, because I haven't taken tests in a long time. And if you fail, you pay. I paid $20 parking. It was $4 an hour. The class was 3 hours long. I was like, how the heck did they charge me freaking? Like I've never had where they don't do partial like I felt like it should have been 16 at the most because I wasn't even there over 4 hours. So I wasn't there over I was there like 3 hours and 40 minutes. 3 hours and 35 minutes is not $20. Like the whole day is $22. I'm like, God, I should have just parked my car there and just like strolled downtown and hung out on the streetcar or something. Like I'm just like I'm so mad at myself for not learning the bus and the max and all that. But I knew I had to work my other job soon. So this is a check-in. I got really stoked. People asked me what I was doing, and I'm like, I didn't tell them like, oh, I'm working as a restaurant as a cook, making minimum wage, but I also run a clinic like the next street light up, and then I also work as a vendor at a supermarket and next street light the opposite direction. I'm like, really? And like, I'm not gonna sell my hair ties, but it's like, oh look, I think this is my kid's Christmas decoration. Like, oh, like I have this stuff. Maybe I have like 5 things of yarn. I'm like, okay, or thread. I'm like, okay, I can't pay my rent. I can't pay my water bill or my heat bill, my gas bill. I can't put gas in my car. I can't afford the $20 through on a credit card. I'm going to wash these clothes. I'm going to wash these pants. I'm going to wash these coats, and I'm going to throw them up for sale. And that's how I feel, is that I'm throwing stuff up for sale because of desperation. And I hate being in desperate situation. Let me pause the video. Computer is frozen. Help! Alright, let me pause it. Hold on. Hi, I'm back. I noticed there's ambient noise in here. I have my air filter on, and the fan on the computer is running non-stop. I went to this class. I had to work until 9:30. Actually, I think I clocked off at 9:25. And I don't know, I got home 10, whatever. Oh yeah, because I did get my kids. So it's probably after 10 after 10. And I ended up waking up. I set like 2, 3 alarms on 2 different phones. I don't know where a regular alarm clock is, which would probably be helpful. And so I was like, you have to wake up at 5:45. Like, don't even play around. Don't even push snooze. Like, don't set it at 5:30. I'll snooze 3 times. No. It took me like until 6:30 to actually like move. And I'm thankful that even though my shoulder is all, I don't know what, sometimes you get injured, and like I got injured in an accident, and I'm like, you would hope things get better, not worse, and it's so scary. I had some older people I was around yesterday who were talking about their arthritis, and they're having problems walking, so like maybe there's the air, it was rain, sunny, right? You know, maybe there's something with the barometric pressure. I couldn't sleep all weekend, so I went to work tired, and I actually had a weekend because my other job got canceled. Boo. I gotta come up with $800, more than $800 by the 13th, before midnight. I don't even know if that's Eastern time or Pacific, but I woke up, I made myself sit up because I was out of snoozes, and I don't know, it could have been 6:15, but I think it was like finally 6:30, did a quick weigh-in, got in a shower, got my cocoa, took it to go, and I grabbed my banana. I didn't eat my dinner banana last night, so I got it this morning, and some water. I don't know, I threw together my bag. I was going to bring the orange bag, didn't have an inside pocket, so I just got this one so I could put the other my phone kept freezing, so I had to restart it because I didn't know where I was going. And on the I-5, last night when I did the directions, it was a 7-minute drive. This morning, 15, and then, or 14. And then, of course, I was supposed to leave at 7. I left at 7:14, I think. And it was, I saw the neighbor's roof was frozen. I'm like, oh snap, I gotta freaking not only deal with the roads, I gotta deal with scraping the ice off the car. That takes me probably 5 minutes to get my shoes, get out the door, turn the car on, crank up the heat and defrost, and start scratching the car, scraping the car, not scratching it. So I got on the road 45 minutes before the class starts. It's 7 miles on the freeway. It's a little bit, it's like downtown. My office is probably 5 miles. The other work is probably 4 miles. My other work is 4 miles. That one's probably 4.5. My office is like 5 point something. So you're going past all that, but then you got to go down to the waterfront and then weave back around. So it makes it a little bit longer. Because it doesn't, in my mind, it still seems like 5-6 miles. But yeah, you got to go down and backtrack. So I was on I-5 and it splits. So you go I-5 to 84 here. And then you have I-5 to 405 here, and then you have I-5 to the other way, and then you have the waterfront, and then you have city center. And I was like crying, like I had tears in my eyes. Like I was like, I kind of put a little bit of makeup on. I don't need to deal with that right now. And there was so much traffic, and I was merging, and I was scared that someone wouldn't let me in, and my Google GPS usually is like, right at the last minute, turn left. And you're like, dude, I'm in the far right lane, four lanes over during rush hour. And I end up just having to drive anywhere and having to backtrack and turn around and cross the river and backtrack. Like, I hate that. My old GPS would be like, stay in the left lane, stay in the center lane, or stay in the 2 right lanes. Like, you will be turning left. Like, I kind of miss that annoyingness versus turn left now. And you're like, ah. But it kind of is better than it was last year because I did have the left, and they had like not neon, but like neon flashing lights, like left turn, waterfront. So it's so many people going there that they have it tagged really well on the street signs. So I just said commit to it, just think, because I hate when they say turn left, then turn right, and you're like, dang. So let's just tell you, this area, I've driven it many times. This is where I take my board exam. Is that where I took my board exam? I can't remember. I've had some things that were timed that I had. I don't know, maybe it wasn't. I had some things that were timed that I had to like take the split, and it's like a whole bunch of splits all at once, and you have to be in the correct lane. And it's like there's so much traffic, you can't just, So I almost like start crying. And I said, shut up, you have like 25 minutes. Like, you have like 20, 25, 15, more than 15 minutes to get there, park, and get out. So I went to the correct exit. Thank God. Got to the light. It says no turn on red, so I don't have to worry about people behind me trying. Because once you get down there, it's like yield for pedestrians. You have bicycle riders, you have cars, trucks, delivery, construction trucks. You got them. I think the Max goes down there now. Every time I go down here, it's built up like crazy. It's like a new city in itself. The streetcar is down there in 2 directions, and you're like, am I driving? Like, oh, can I turn right on red? Like, oh god, there's streetcar. Like you gotta pay attention. I was like, thank God I don't have to turn right. And I start chuckling. I was like, there's hipsters everywhere. I was like, oh my god. And I'm going to one of the biggest, one well-known university medical hospital facility. I saw this place getting built. I saw this newer one getting built because my kids and I drove every Monday through Friday back and forth. And amazing amount of money went into this. And my clinic is a closet. And I have my medical bag. Where is it? I have a satchel that I use, that my daughter bought me on sale in Clackamas at Kohl's. It was after Christmas. It was in the clearance Christmas gifts. It was a man's, travel bag. So you're supposed to put deodorant, razors, brush, that kind with a zipper on top. This traditional old-fashioned travel bag for men. And I was just like, really? I was like, she's like, oh, this would be nice for your medical equipment or something. And I was like, oh, I was gonna get a tool bag from freaking Harbor Freight. I actually thought about that. I always have the Harbor Freight coupons. I wanted a leather medical bag, and I ended up getting a rectangle. My friend had a rectangle one, and he had like an iPad and all this stuff. You could easily fit that or a normal size laptop in there. I couldn't fit my laptop in there. I chose a netbook style and it wasn't a Toshiba, a little Sony Vaio, and my relative got me this huge freaking thing. I was like, dude, I had to carry this stuff to clinic, to class, and so I had to carry like multiple bags. Like I would have liked to just carry one bag and maybe a purse, right? But today got me so motivated to do my dude, you're trained. You're trained in a whole heck of a lot of stuff. And so what if you're making pizzas and selling stuff online to make 3 cents here, $30 a day, $50 a day, $65 a day. Like, you're trained well. You need to utilize your ability to help others. Now, when I look around these institutions, do you see people of color like me? Maybe once in a while, not often. Maybe every day. But do you see, people automatically assume that people are ignorant or uneducated or not motivated? The thing is, you can be black and have, good background check and have all of the, say you have a checkoff list, this many years of school, this many years of education, you need to have this certification, you need to have this certification, you need to have 2 years experience in the lab, you need to have this one, blah, 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 blah. And you have all that stuff. There could be a lot of us that have all that stuff. There could be a lot that don't. There's a lot of non-blacks that don't have that stuff. There's a lot of Asian Americans, Hispanic Americans that do and don't. So it's not just about black, white. But trying to get one of those jobs is really hard. And I understand when you're in a pool of really, really qualified people that did residencies at Stanford or Harvard or all these places everybody hears of. I don't even know, John Hopkins, all these oh, you did your undergrad here, oh, you got high honors, oh, you did this, you're excellent. That's just you on paper. That's not your skin color. But it's even if you feel really qualified for that job, there's a couple jobs I consider applying that were culturally competent or not just race and culture, but sometimes change in lifestyle. I wasn't a teenage mom, but let's just throw it out there. Say you had they had the peer jobs, whatever they're called, the peer whatever jobs, and you could be oh, the peer, some of these jobs they wanted peer workers, traditional health worker, peer support, whatever it's called, and there's one for doula, and it wasn't a thing that you had to qualify, and in order to apply for the job, you had to say why you fit this criteria. And somebody told me to do this job, and at the same time, they were oh, you need to shadow me. If you have your own clients, you go to your clients and it'll work out, then you come to my client, or maybe you leave early, or blah, blah, blah. And then the next week, they're no, if you're with your client, at the time I had all high risk, if you're with your client and my patient has a baby, or is having a baby, you have to leave, whether it's the OR, the operating room. I was doing births out of state, come back, and leave and go to this person. So the one I was doing would have generated income so I could pay my family. The other one generated education, which would get me to being able to get the certificate, which would make it so I could generate income later. So I stopped advertising for this. I didn't get the certification. I literally waited until I had 2 years to get the certification for doula, and I waited. And the same person was like, "Oh, you should apply for this peer support position." But I'm like, how am I going to do both? Because it's the same thing you told me I couldn't do. So I didn't apply for the job, and at the time, because of the injuries, all the stuff from the car accident, it was across the river. It was a struggle to even get to the bathroom from here to there. Like, I literally had days that I would crawl because I couldn't walk. And so I was like, if I was like unemployed and wasn't doing this on-call training, it wasn't even like, oh, I only do the training. Say I'm a weekend on-call, weekend and night or something. I could say, oh, I'm available Monday to Friday with you. Like it's not like that. It's complete potential for conflict. So I ended up not applying, but I was like reading through the thing. That job is not available. Sometimes right now I'm like, I'm about to do that job. And I was like, oh, I want to get to where I'm don't want to share this information publicly, but I qualify. Can that be like not going through the internet? Like not like can I just tell them in person in an interview? But I don't know how to explain what I'm saying. And I use that like I wasn't a single parent. I use that as an example. Say it was for single or not even single, but teenage parents, or let's say someone has a certain disease. It's like sometimes you don't want to disclose like the people that qualify for the job have to have this criteria, but in order you have to go through detail. And this is and it's but it I don't know. I just felt weird about giving somebody personal information like anything that I've done in my life. I mean, they don't care if I had my kids, my babies, and in a house. Like people don't care. Like they might care later, but if you need to know, my licensing board, if I did anything, if there's something I had, like if someone gets a felony ticket, they have to inform their licensing board. Maybe the insurance company asks them stuff like that, like their malpractice, like all that stuff. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say here. Okay. I have to be somewhere tomorrow morning, and then Thursday morning, I told myself, go to the thing on Thursday and go to meeting on Thursday. And then you have Friday off. And then Friday, I was going to try to see this person. I don't want to go. And then Saturday, Sunday, I have a job. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then I don't know what I should look. So I'm going to title this video check-in. And I mean, I was kind of making a big deal about it. What it really boiled down to was, could I make that drive regularly? A. B. It's a complete conflict with the person who said you can't be on call with any other people. Let me look. This guy got busted for having trailers in the street and RVs. It's probably a good idea. I could see myself being like, it's like, oh yeah, you want to tear apart these and sell them. Newspaper. Jury awards $1.7 million after nurse yells at man to stop rolling car. I don't understand. Crash in front of Columbia River High School kills a woman, injures student. That's scary. What the heck? I gotta leave in an hour. I'm like so tired. I'm seriously like where I get that scratchy throat. Someone in the class like kept coughing and I was like, oh my god. Let's see if I have. So, I have a client. It's already the beginning of March. I have a client that I need to see. I wanted to go at the beginning of March, which is now, but I knew I had a class, I saw the client once, and now I had to get my car serviced, get the headlight fixed, and it's like shaking. I'm like so freaked out right now. Like, oh my god, it's filthy. Like, oh my god. But it's gonna come to a point where I'm gonna be on call for this person, and I'm gonna have to get in a car and go. So here's what I'm thinking. I gotta do my taxes. I gotta do the other thing. May, April, so March, April, May, June. And I'll probably be doing a summertime. Might not be officially summer, but June, summer month. That will be a not on call. But it's getting to the point where I have a few weeks, and every single day it's gonna be closer to the time I'm gonna have to go down there. If I go to sleep at midnight one night and she calls and it's 12:15 right after midnight and I didn't even sleep more than 15 minutes, I'm gonna have to go. So I gotta, like, there's so much, like, I have to keep that in mind. It was different when you're like, oh my god, I gotta drive 20 minutes across the river with my windows down after getting some cocoa and eating. I used to eat raw chocolate. Like, it's a little bit different, I think, in my mind. If you have a short distance, I missed a birth. I went to a birth and had my ringer off, and I came home, fell asleep, slept through the phone, and I was supposed to drive up I-5 north in Washington State. I don't even know how far, maybe an hour or more. I missed the birth. I felt like such a jerk, and I really felt like a jerk. I'm not gonna lie to you. I slept, I don't even know if the phone was on vibrate. I slept through the phone, I woke up, looked at the phone, and saw a bunch of missed calls, missed texts, and I was like, oh my god, I am so sorry. I am so, so sorry. And I think I was up all night. Part of me is like, maybe my body wouldn't have been able to do that drive. Like, maybe I would have fallen asleep on the freeway and crashed. Like, I felt like such a jerk because I think I was covering for somebody. And, which reminds me, I have more than one person to get stuff signed. Let's check my other work schedule. I have this person that wants to meet with me for something, and I met with this one lady, and I don't know if she was part of a cult, but she's like, you should go to this event, but she didn't call the event a name, so it weirded me out. And I looked online for an event at this location, she saw it calling it business owners, at this time, location, and day, and it didn't show up as anything, so I was like, this could be some kind of church group or something that's not, like, she is refusing to tell me what it was. Like, if she had said, oh, it's going to be ABC business, like, someone invited me to the Lotus Meditation Center with the Buddhist meditation, and I didn't go, and she was straightforward on what it was and when the next meeting was. She wrote it on the back, wrote her name on a business card, like, so I get like weirded out when people kind of are like, oh, we're not going to tell you what this is. So in my mind right now, oh, I can't use my web page from Wednesday 10 to midnight Pacific time tomorrow. I feel so sick. I don't even want to go to work. That's how bad I feel right now. Okay, so I have a job this weekend. There's so many changes. I have nothing next weekend. I'm really glad about that. I'm not gonna lie, I need the money. Because the next weekend I have 4 in a row and I work 2 jobs. 2 outside my company's jobs on the last weekend of the month. I am burnt out, dude. Like, so yeah, I went on the freeway and then I like didn't mean to start laughing. So it's probably like emotional and my arm hurts. And I just felt like somebody told me, oh, my institution sent me a whole bunch of emails saying my thing is about to expire. I was like, you know what I do? I look to my wallet every so often. I say, oh crap, I think I have to renew this. Oh my god, it's going to cost me money. Oh crap. And I'm like, I don't have to take this class. This class I took today, I don't have to take it. I don't have to sit there to do a test. I don't have to spend $200 on a class and parking. But I'm the owner of my business. And putting on a different hat, I tell myself, you are going to take the class. You need to take this class. Like, this is, like, even if you don't get that certification, you need to take this. Like, I told myself, like, you're the business owner. If you had employees, like, you put the hat on as a boss and you're also the employee, you're telling your employee, come on now, let's, so basically my certificate runs out, the end of the month. It's only the beginning of the month. 3/6. This was the last open, there was 2 spots available in this class. This is the last open spot until April, I think. I don't even know what April was, but there was no other classes. I was like, oh god. And yeah, and my car headlight is out. I was like, oh shoot, they had next. When I finally looked, I finally had next available. It was yesterday. I looked last week. I should have looked after I come back from out of town. My plan was to get back home, sit down at the computer, and make an appointment that worked for me. So whether it was 2 weeks out, whether it was 1 week out, whether it was 3 days out, and it took me until last week to look at the computer. So I keep showing you guys this. I've been crafting. Somebody gave me this, and I'm still making my kid's blanket. My other kid got a blanket last year. I noticed the people in the hospital, the workers, were in streamline, Patagonia, like Columbia, like tight fitting, or like nice asymmetric or symmetric scrubs. And I'm sitting here with this big flowy thing, and I saw myself on video with my big freaking hair thing in my hair, the big scarf, and I was like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, I look so big. Like, you know, like every other woman there had their hair all smooth, and they all had rings on their ring finger, and I was like, they're talking about buying houses, having babies, having nursing, and have a baby. I'm going to have a baby, and I'm like, really? I stand out like a sore thumb, like, but I'm not like, I'm like flowy. I'm like, when I went to, there was a black woman who did my doula training, and she had the stuff in her, the hair wrap, and the big clothes, and glasses, and just herself. And it's like, at that place, I didn't feel like everybody was an individual, had their individual hairstyle, individual hair texture, individual clothing style. And the thing is, I get really cold, so it's like, I'm gonna wear scarves and all these flowy things, and it's like, wow, I sold the clothes that I had were like these ladies' clothes, because they're kind of sporty and kind of asexual and like Star Trek-y, like not the one where the lady with the mini skirt, but like pants and shirt, and it's like you have like your shoulders and you have fitted, and even if you're chubby, you still look thin because everything's so fitted, one step above leggings or whatever, like dressy yoga pants style. I have scrubs and everything, but I just don't like. A lot of my outfit, I'll put together something once in a while and be like, wow, that looks really nice. And I'll start shivering and be like, okay, now I can put 2 sweaters on, a scarf, a big chunky hat. I'm late. Not mismatched shoes, but shoes that look crazy. And I'm just like, really? Now you look like a clown and a bag lady mixed together. And I'm like, that was cute for a minute. Like, before you actually, like, and my under layers of clothes are like my favorite layers. And I'm like, wow, like, I can't wear this in public. Like, this is like my under layers of my clothes. I'm like, why can't you wear it in public? Oh, because I'm freezing, that's why. They shut the blinds, and I was like, gonna put my winter coat on. Oh, it's so cold. I just don't feel well, but this is my check-in. I want to get 1,000 views. I hated to monetize my account, but when I realized that life happened and everything fell apart, from that car accident, my health with the car accident, from family feuds. Like, it's more like family feud is one thing. Like my mom got in a fight about a peach cobbler. Like with her sister, and it was like a big like whatever kind of thing. I don't even know if she ever spent the night in that town again after that. And like she's just spent the night there. And I have actual safety concerns, which is why I haven't been posting. I've been making videos. I don't edit. Oh, and right now I'm like, guys, I'm like, I want to check in, and maybe these safety issues will still be a problem for me posting because my facial recognition can be searched, whatever kind of name I call my channel. So what I want to say, hopefully if somebody's listening to the whole thing, I took a big break after the car accident. I couldn't use any social media, so I had to rip everything off my channel. I mean, I basically only have the videos up there now from before last year that were basically, I didn't even have a chance to finish going through. So I took off dozens of videos. They're all whatever. I don't know if I can relist them, repost them. And I literally, like, this is post 7 years of medical school. And post 7 years, this is probably my 4th year of doing a clinic. 16 is a whole year. 16, no, 15. Count when I got my license, even if I didn't have a. So 15, 16, 17. So I've done 3 years and 2 months of my clinic because I waited. I could have got my license on 2014 October, but I waited until January 1st of the next year, 2015. Did I say that right? And I also had another whole year of, I think, of midwifery training. Maybe it wasn't a whole year. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it was a whole year. Yeah, because January to January plus, I think I ended in June of 2016. So I had to get on the move. It's been 2 years. I don't know if they count all this stuff. Sometimes you have a 2-year limit on certain things that have to do with medicine and your birthing certificates and what match up your tests with your requirements, with your licensure. I want to be licensed out of state, and I'm working on one state right now, but I'm not working on it hard. And for my birth coaching, I also want to. So basically, Portland has. Sometimes life deals you a bad hand. I was feeling like I've been dealt a bad hand in Portland as far as the discrimination and racism. When you qualify, say you qualified for a loan for a business, and over the phone and a computer, everything checks out. They do background check, debt to rate, income ratio is okay for the small amount of loan. But as soon as you step foot in a place and they see your skin color, like, nope, get away from us, vampire, evil, evil, evil. So I've been given a bad hand, and I'm not sure if this is the right path. I've been praying for this for 24 hours. Should I venture out? I got really happy when, for the most part, along this one bus line, me and my kids do a lot on this bus line, and there's a couple that go this direction, there's a couple that go this direction. That one's probably like 20-something miles in that direction. But for the most part, day and night, summer, winter, have to ride the bus during an ice storm. It's like we're pretty much on this one bus line. And so it felt really good after commuting back and forth across the river for many years and doing the burst where I had to travel a lot and sit in traffic and go out of state. And it got a lot worse when that car accident happened. The impatience and not wanting to sit in traffic is one thing, or burning up gas or spending 2 hours going 7 miles. But, like, I've done that before. I've done, like, the drive I did today, and it's taking me an hour, and I'd be, like, missing the church night, and they were telling me how it really smelled. So I was like, dude, I went 5 miles from my house on the freeway, and it's been an hour. I'm turning around and coming home because I won't get there until everybody's gone home and gone to sleep. Like, it's just, I'm not being careless. It's just how it is. When you're going 25 miles to church during rush hour, like, sometimes you're better. I learned this sometimes. Sometimes you're better leaving like 15 minutes before it starts. But when it starts at 7:30 would have been a different time. Everybody lived out there, and it wasn't a big deal for them. They would just sit, come home from work, eat dinner, go to McDonald's, and then go to church. But I kind of miss those days, but I was always an outcast, and I hated that. I wanted to, stay in this area, but I feel like poker. Like, I'm looking at my cards, being like, God, what can I do with this? What can I do with this? Like, I like bluffing. I'm like, well, you never know. This pair of twos. I don't know. I might win. So I'm not giving up. I'm not throwing in my pair of twos or whatever. But I'm like, it's not the hand that I was hoping for. I mean, I could have nothing, right? So I have something. I have something that's not nothing, but it's not substantial. It's not enough to trump something. It's not enough to live off of. And I've cleaned out every single one of my savings accounts. I've resorted to taking pennies to the grocery store. I'm like, God, there's probably a copper penny. Some of these, maybe I should turn them in for copper value. I get all freaked out. And then, I was like, the value of this penny at Winco for 77, well, it used to be 77 cents of bread. It's like, but where's the gas going to take you to go to the copper recycling place? Anyways, I'm like venturing out because I don't feel, like sometimes you're content and you pray and it's like, be still. Let life happen. Don't let life happen, but do your routines and wait for a breakthrough and have hope and believe that things will go your way. Like, I hear people that sound content. They have a lot going for them. They're like, oh, but I applied for a job. Oh, but I'm about to graduate. Oh, but blah, 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 blah. Oh, I'm about to have a baby. Like, you're like, oh, you have your stuff together. You're just waiting for that one thing. You have a house, you have a husband, you have this, you have a dog, you have a fence for the dog, you have this, you have horses in the country, whatever. You take your yearly trip to Spain. But there still have some things uncertain. But I look at myself like, oh my God. But it's like, hey, you have a job, you have this, you have that, you have that. Don't fret, right? Like, but I feel like for some reason, I gotta get out of this super saturated place. I feel like in some rural areas, it's hard to find certain jobs. There's qualifications that not everyone has, education-wise. When I was in the country, it was easier to be, I couldn't get a job. I tried, my ex-husband wouldn't look for a job, but we owned the house. It was cheaper. The food was cheaper. It was less of a fight. I mean, he was looking for work, but it was like, we weren't going to be homeless. We had a home. Electricity was super cheap. We didn't really have a lot to put gas in the car, like stuff like that, but we had, and that's what I had my pregnancy where I didn't eat. So we had something, and out here, it's like, I've taken this route. I was like, oh, I'm not going to use a GPS to figure out how to get home. And I said to myself, dude, you taken this way before, just drive. You're going to know where you are once you get towards downtown. If you have to turn around, you'll know exactly. You've lived here since 2001. Come on. It's like, I had to tell myself, but sometimes in this town, they built up the waterfront, and a lot of roads are new or one way. Like, there's so much construction going on. It's ridiculous. I didn't recognize it. And I went around the bend, and I couldn't get to my clinic, or maybe I could have, and I didn't try. I was like, I gotta get home. And I saw another tent village sprout up. I was like, holy crud. Last time I drove through was in Tent Village, and it's very common on each side of the river to see Tent Village. And I was like, oh. And I'm sitting here, I told someone, one of my shift leaders, I have a roof on my head today, just for today. I don't know about tomorrow. I don't know about next month. I don't know about next year. I have a car right now. I could have had a total. On the way to going out of town to see my client, I swore there could have been a pileup because there was some issues with some barrels in the middle of the street that shouldn't have been in the middle of the street, and it scared the crap out of me. So I have to be grateful for that. I have to be grateful when you see me drinking water. Maybe I did put on a credit card and use 2 coupons to buy this, but, I wouldn't drink it if it weren't for the magnesium. I tried to stop a bunch of foods I had when I was working, and food was cheaper. I just tried to stop a lot of the foods, and my body shut down. It was severe spasming. It wasn't like freak spasm once in a while. It was like nonstop. And I had to go, like, I was trying not to do the liquid aminos. I was trying not to do the yeast, nutritional yeast. I was trying not to do mineral. It was all really expensive. I was trying not to use my regular honey. I got like food poisoning. Like, my body reacts really bad to other people's honey. There's one in the mall they're trying to sell for $20, and I was like, I can't afford that little tiny thing. And I try to go away from this stuff, save money, and my body reacted violently. So the things I cut out of my diet is partly because of money, partly because I had allergic reactions. And the things I keep in my diet, and I always like pull and cheat. I don't want to buy it. I don't want to buy this crap. The things that I end up buying, my body's acting violently, and I say no. But it's part like I have high fat, high natural raw sugar diet, and it's not vegan because I do honey and bee pollen and royal jelly, and I end up like wanting to save money and just drinking 30 cents a gallon reverse osmosis water, like, and not even buying bananas, like, not even buying, avocados, not ever buying, like, anything. And my mind's like, don't buy anything, right? And then I work all these jobs to try to keep rent, and then I feel like I'm going to literally fall on the floor, pass out. So then I have to go through the line and purchase something, whether it be one banana or one orange or one, I get sick, like people around me coughing, and then I have to get one of my jobs, I have to get one of these orange juices, and then I'm like, oh. And then I don't do work in my clinic, and then I eat like all like $75 worth of raw food sandwiches, and then I'm like, okay, now I spent all my money, and I still didn't get paid. Like, I got like paid today. I billed like maybe $2,000-3,000, and I got a couple hundred, and last week I got nothing. I was like, really, and I started to do billing, but I hope that tomorrow I can also get home before 1 and get myself going, and I also hope that I can rest really well tonight and just realize tomorrow's already Wednesday, so tonight is hump day. I have a weird way of saying it because I don't have like Monday through Friday. I have Monday through Friday, but I work every day, so it doesn't matter. It's just what job is hump time is nighttime tonight, because then I have Wednesday, Thursday, so if I can rest up really well tonight and tomorrow, then I'll be ready for busy Thursday, and then busy Thursday. Friday, I have to make myself rest, so I'm going to put it as an all-day event. I want to help this one person, one of my clients, with something. They flaked out on me Friday, they flaked out on me Saturday, and it got me in a shower, and it got me dressed, but they were not available during our scheduled meeting, so I was like, no way, I'm just going to stay home Friday. But I feel like I should go, because then I have a busy week Saturday through the next Thursday, but then I'll have kind of slow. So I think that slow time is when I go back out of town. And then I was thinking of spending the night, but I don't know. It might be nice. It might actually be a loving thing for me to stay out of, I don't want bed bugs or anything. It doesn't matter, cheaper. It might be a loving thing for me to stay at a place and go to a early morning, like a 9 a.m., 10 a.m. appointment, and then I would be tired that morning, but have a sleep in between that 6-7 hour drive. Like, instead of having a hour break between a 6-7 hour drive, have a 12-hour break, and maybe check out a couple thrift stores or something and see what I can find. And every time I want to bring something in the house, get rid of something else. But it's all about my money's going out. I have a phone I rarely use at my office, and I know I use the fax like once or twice, and I freaking pay so much money a month, and it's so hard because as a clinic worker trying to get data to clinicians that didn't have they had their fax tied to their phone, it was a real pain in the behind to have to call them, get a hold of somebody, tell them to turn their fax on, but those people are doing their job full time, so it's kind of really hard to they would probably actually get paid enough to, I don't know. I didn't like it. It was annoying, but it's we may do, some people didn't have fax, they were trying to save money, and our boss is we're not gonna take an email, we need a signature. So these practitioners were going to freaking FedEx stores and coffee shops or whatever, to the grocery store to fax stuff, and I was just really, that would save me $140 a month if I were to do that and send all my phone calls to cell phone. And my mind keeps saying, during prayer meditation, stay in your little closet of a clinic and get your butt out of debt and just keep that stuff. Don't downsize. Keep the stuff and increase your patient load. And especially every time my hours go down at these part-time jobs and the people around me's hours go up, even new people, it breaks my heart. And I'm like, you could work. The amount of time you work at this job, if you worked your profession, even as an employee, you would bring home $600 a day. $600 a day. If I worked for myself and I wasn't doing billing as efficiently as I should, it could still be $350 a day if I had enough clients and patients and actually had people as insurance. So that's where I am right now. I'm going to go. I meant to say this earlier in case people want to shut off and say, oh yeah, my 5-minute check-in turned into an hour. I have safety issues. I did share this in 2016 when I shared a video after being afraid of saying what my life was. And what it was fear of abusers, fear of narcissists trying to pull you in by using any information they can about you. What happened with that fear was I avoided everybody. I avoided people that wanted to be my friend. I became friends with other narcissistic people, with narcissistic people, after getting rid of certain sets of abusive narcissistic people. And these people will tear your life apart. There's a spiritual battle, there's a physical, mental, emotional battle. And the treatment that these people, for me, has caused me to keep breaking me down. That's a kind of demonic thing, and lower your self-esteem, lower your self-confidence. And what it ends up being is you go after familiar, but then you don't. It's you stand up for yourself, ain't nobody gonna mess with me like that. But then it's I don't advertise my business. I don't put my videos up anymore. I don't blog anymore because I am being harassed on a regular basis. And I've had to call the cops. I've had to talk to the police. I've had, trying to get restraining orders and all. It's just because somebody else decides to be a freak show towards me and not leave me the heck alone, I've lowered my standard of how well I want to live life. How my motto for my business, for one of my business, but it's kind of umbrella. It's to share how I'm getting through these hard times, to share help, and through technology, which the facial recognition, voice recognition, name recognition, all this stuff, IP. And it's really, really hard when I'm cowering in the corner, but at the same time, I've lived in places, including here, where people are getting shot at by their abusers. And one was, in that those bullets right outside my front door, the murder at the last place, and that was a knife murder. So that's what I'm sharing is there are abusers, and I'm taking a risk by putting myself out there This is not the 70s where, like, oh, my name may or may not be in a phone book somewhere, or some such and such may have heard from me, or someone could drive on my house and hide and watch me walk out to the car and go to school or something. But it's like everything is all on the internet. So what I shared in this video was, I'm not giving advice, but I'm telling you my experience is I've had to get police and court involved with abusers over the past many years, and most of it has gone on. Like, none of these people have been punished for hurting me. None of these people have been punished for beating me. None of these people have been punished for sexually assaulting me. And when you go into courts and you talk to lawyers, depending on who they are, but some of these judges will be like, it's your fault, you're a jerk, you're wasting my time. Some of these judges are like, don't let these abusers get away with it. Like, and when you put yourself out there and you have a restraining order, that's not a bulletproof vest. You can't hold it up if the abuser breaks the restraining order and comes to your door with a gun. And so I had just shared, not as advice, but look up your own jurisdiction, your own city, your own state, your own province. What is the rules? And if you, like when I left my ex-husband, they changed the rules that if your kids were in home or had witnessed domestic violence, that they're going to put the kids in foster care. And say it was man to woman violence, even the woman calls domestic violence support line and gets a room in a shelter for the next day, she's already leaving her home. Her pictures are on the wall. My grandma's pictures were left at the house. The stuff my mom got from me when I was a baby, solid gold jewelry, that all got left. My photo albums, my journals, my kids' memories, and it didn't matter. What mattered was our lives. And could you imagine, like, if I had said, oh, like afterwards, so I left before the law changed, I heard that law, that they're going to rip the kids and put them in foster care. So she would be alone in a shelter, his ex-husband would try to be harassing her, and try to lie to get those kids, and the kids are separated from their mom, whether they're nursing, whether they're babies, whether they're 12. I was like, no, she's being proactive. She knows she needs help. How many times have us survivors called for help and everyone blows you off? How many times for me have I called family members and said, please help? If you can't help, please pray for us. And all they've done is harass me and make me feel like I'm the bad guy. They're like, oh, nobody ever talked about that. Oh, do you think the abuser's going to call you up and be like, oh, I just abused my daughter today? Click. Oh, the cops came because I just beat my wife. Click. Like, no, they're narcissists. They're going to go out with a suit and tie, drive a Mercedes-Benz. They're not going to go call each other and, you know, these crazy people on Facebook showing his live murders. No, that's a different generation. These other people that kept it behind closed doors and behind closed curtains. So that's what I wanted to share at the end of this video is I have called because of threats from somebody, and I thought I'd get away with distance. But when someone has money to get on an airplane or a car that has gas in it that can get out here, that's not going to stop a bullet. And I called this network international or national hotline, and I asked for some information that I called the week before. A friend told me the number, and they gave me information for intimate partners, you know, household violence. And I said, this domestic violence is not intimate partner, and I don't live in a household with this person. I feel threatened. I said, I left this person. I had lived in a household in the past, and I have felt threatened, and I felt concerned for a child in 2001 and in 2006. And I said, the information you gave me and the information of just calling this place and doing ABC, I feel like this person would retaliate, and I feel like I'd be harmed. Do you have a way or a resource or a lawyer or some kind of civil thing, family law, something, advocate, mediator that can help do it with an additional party as a witness, as a go-between? Like, if you get a restraining order from someone, you're not going to deliver it to their house yourself. You could actually, but you can get a sheriff to deliver it. You can have a family member deliver it. But it's not in your best interest to stop at their door, and especially they have guns in their house, and deliver this legal document. And it wasn't about restraining. I called about restraining, but it was about something else that was really messing up. And there was some activity, financial activity, and this person basically could have got me in trouble and were doing unlawful things in my name. And I said, they're like, why don't you just call the person and tell them to stop? Like, you just call your abuser, and, you know, the reason you're calling this network is you're trying to flee the abuser and try to stay away. These people don't change. You know them for decades. They haven't changed. You hope they change. I've changed. They haven't changed. And they told me they were going to call child welfare because I contacted them to get some help, and that I didn't feel safe around this person, and that I said, this person's not allowed in my house. They're not allowed, my kids, we won't go to their house. My kids aren't allowed to stay with them. You know, I have my draft of my will where the kids, if something happened to me, the kids would not go with this person. This person's not safe. I know they're not safe. My kids know they're not safe. And they had the nerve to tell me that I was endangering my kids because I was keeping them away from somebody threatening. And so I had to throw that out there to think, are you a freaking idiot? How many times a survivor who's being proactive and keeping the children safe by fleeing these bad guys, how many times have you said that you're gonna put all the blame on me? I'm not the one who committed the crime. Why don't you send the cops to their door and arrest these fools? Like, I just don't understand why the survivor and the person who's saving the family from danger is the one that's being scolded. Tis, you're bad. Like, if I had stayed in there, if I had let somebody watch my kid, we had a daycare center that one of my housing programs that sent little kids, and my daughter said that they were beating people, and I told the person who was paying, they were paying for kids to go there. I said, there's no way I'm taking my kids there. They're beating kids. And they're like, I don't believe you. I'm taking my granddaughter there next week. And I was like, I am telling you the truth. Everyone there, besides my daughter, couldn't talk. They were infants or toddlers. They couldn't talk and come home and say, this time, like my kid said, this happened and this happened and this happened. And it's like, why am I the bad guy? Because I'm trying to, like, it happened in more than one of these home daycares. It was, you see this stuff in the news. Go to a tanning bed, drug the kids with heroin. They did this, you know. Someone was having sex with kids. Like, it's so disgusting. Like, and someone like me try to warn somebody, not only your own grandkid, not only residents here, not only my kids, but no kids should be at those people's house, even their own kids. That's for the judge to decide. But you, like, I'm telling you, I'm not taking my kids. I don't want my neighbors taking their kids, and that's not my business. But, like, listen to me. And they just were like, you're a troublemaker. You're a troublemaker. And so I had to learn to pray about things because one of the things as a survivor and as a person who was a child being beaten and as an adult being beaten, when your abuser lies about your injuries or what is going on in the house, and they are really good at lying, they can get away with it longer. They're really good at lying, and there's no proof. Those people make it so the child or the adult can't get help. They make it like the kid is trapped in that household. And anytime you get some power or you speak up to a counselor or something happens, they're going to lie and make you out to be this hoodlum. Like, and it's so hard. This has happened to me even in the workforce. You know, God knows any witness that saw may or may not speak up. There's a lady who got raped. She just died, I think. A black woman got gang raped coming home from church one night. I've been raped before. And the guys admitted it in court, I think. And the jury found them not guilty. And I think that the state or the city, whatever it was, apologized to the lady like 40 or 50 years later, or 60 years later. Not to people who did it. They lived their life. They died It's not even like they lied and said we didn't do it. Like, yep, we did it. We tore this, you know what, apart sexually. And there's no justice. Like, this is not something from the 60s. This is not something from the 50s. This is still current. And so I'm sharing the end of this video. If anyone listens, I know it's really long because I can't give advice. I can only say what I did. And just like the pictures of grandma and the gold, the 24 karat gold got left. And it's not worth it. Because I've more than once taken my kids up, put them in the back of a car, and left abusive people. And before they were born, I did the same thing with myself. I uprooted myself, and I transplanted myself. And you don't get a reward for that. You don't, like, I've gotten scolded more. I've been scolded by 99.9% of people about how dare you leave your relationship, how dare you leave your husband, how dare you, you know, blah, 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 blah. And I said, in my mind, I said, I've almost gotten killed at the hands of these people. Not even counting the weapons inside the house. And it gets to a point where you gotta flee. You gotta go anywhere. Anywhere. If you had to run out nude and wave down the next car and hitchhike to the police station, but then they're gonna think you're a loony running the street. You know, that's what happens. And you're not, like, wealthy, you know, you're black, you're poor, you're nappy hair. Like, people don't take people seriously when you're yourself, and you have no reason. Like, the church, they had no reason to ever find me lying, because I didn't lie. So many people there lied so badly, made up rumors, gossip, lie. Like the main leaders, I never lie, and they had a nerve to try to tell me that there was something wrong with me because I left them, because one of their leaders for 2 years told us that he didn't want us there anymore. And my kids finally were like, fine, we're not going. And I said, I'm not going to go. We're going to find somewhere where we can go and feel welcome and put our money in a different offering plate, you know, not support this guy's salary. Just tell us to stop now, to stop. It's like, I've never lied to you guys in 9.5 years. Why would I lie now? Because you believe this blonde hair guy over black chick that's a single mom. And I prayed for justice. I said, God, you know that I'm not lying. You know the truth. Every single time I say, if I had a tape recorder, like, God knows, and in my heart, I know that they might know, but they can't. They have those glasses on where black people are not smart or honest, and so I had to realize there's a big racial thing. Even the Bible tells you to listen to both sides of the story before, and this person's wife sat and listened to these conversations. Like, the Bible even says listen to both sides of the story before you make a decision, because the first person might sound, so like, go ahead, listen to both sides of the story. And if you're a profiler, like, if you're like a cop, detective, you will see that person is lying through their teeth unless they straight up like those guys. Yeah, we did it. So what? What are you gonna do? She's black. I'm not. You're gonna prosecute me? No, I didn't think so. I'm free to go live my life while she lives in misery and has injustice. So that's why I bring up that about myself. It's really hard to post videos because of the safety issues, and I'm willing to. I don't want to risk my life, but I'm willing to say something because I've been told a couple of times that me telling some of my story, people fled, and the last I heard, were still alive. Was it easy? Did they still have to get a police escort? Did they still have to get divorced? Restraining order? Yes. But they got out. They didn't wake up dead with a bullet in their head. I know I said that funny, but literally, how many times do you hear about that? You don't, because it happens. And the people that would win over my word against theirs because I'm black, a lot of those people you see in the news are murder-suicide. They kill their children. You see this yoga soccer mom in this picture. And then it's like murdered kids, drowned kids, did this, did that, and you're just like, just because they look a certain way doesn't mean that they're good people or that they're honest. I don't know what motivated them to do that, but don't just automatically assume that my behavior would be like these ladies, like these people, just because I'm black. Like, so it's really, really hard. So that's why it's hard to try to work out of town, because then I feel like when you flee abuse or you flee systemic racism, going outside of town doesn't seem like that safe out by the sticks. With systemic racism, you end up having to do more work. Instead, like, say I worked, there was a place that wanted me to work at this hospital 2 hours away. 2 hours away, the whole heck a lot worse than going across the river during rush hour, where I'd have to leave at 7 in the morning. I'd have to leave at 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning, like, and then you're like, oh, it's 5 o'clock, time to get off work. I'll be home, kids, by 8:30. Depending on traffic. The only thing that I can think of with this is home ownership. Outside of city limits, the only thing I can think of is opportunity to satellite my business or completely move it out of this county. And I felt like at work I was going through a fiction story that I'm making up, another one, and I'm kind of adding the other ones, like how, who did Star Wars? George Lucas had too many episodes. And it was like, story was too big, I had to pare it down to just one. And then the second one, like, I have now combined a bunch of my stories that I've been talking to my kids about for over 10 years. I have a new one. And I got busy at work. And then I was like, oh, God, I couldn't think anymore. I was in my own world. And then I was like, self, just be still. Be still. Listen. Do your work. I get really impatient with time. And then I get impatient with myself. So with that, I'm going to go. But I hope that I live. So another part of showing a story is if something did happen to me. I hate that. My mom was like that. My mom was really abusive. But she'd probably like, oh, when I die, you're going to get this and this and this and this. Sometimes I feel like I got library books too. I was thinking about getting a book and I was like, oh shoot, I got to return it somewhere. Sometimes I feel like, I don't want to say if I die this, but you never know. I could have died on the way to that thing today. I was crying on the freeway for Pete's sake because there was so much traffic. And I was having to get in the left lane from the far right, all this stuff. And I was on the curves next to some kind of gas truck and all this. Like, oh my God. And what I want to say is, I want my story to be known, because if it helps, the reason I went into this really difficult career choice that is making me no money, it's almost like I wasn't going to join the Catholic Church because of this, because I couldn't get a job anywhere, and that's why I opened my closet clinic. It's like literally a closet clinic. I was going to join the Catholic Church and be a nun, and my kids were under 18. I was like, how am I going to be able to live in the convent with 2 children with people that may or may not be virgins? I was really gonna, like, I'm not even Catholic, but I was really going to go so I could do the work of God. I told a relative once that I couldn't find work, but I had an easy time being a volunteer. So I got in a car accident, these health facilities wouldn't take into account of my accommodations. It sucked because they pretty much, what a bunch of jerks, you're like, you are really hypocritical. But I said, I want to join comments so I can have a shelter and eat and live modest, or with little. Like, don't have a lot of material items. Like, I'm thinking in my mind, Whoopi Goldberg and freaking, Nons, I don't know the name of the movie, but it's like, I can't remember her name, sorry. Sister Act. I was thinking of that movie, but I wasn't thinking about that movie, but I was like, thinking of Call the Midwife. I don't know what I was thinking. I wasn't thinking of any of those, but I was like, I can't get a job, I can't afford rent, I clean out my savings, I need to move into a convent. I'm going to sell everything and live modestly, live in a convent, live in a room, in a cell, the Catholic Church, go to Mass every day, sing in a choir, play the organ, and go and help orphans and get cover my head, wear modest clothes, and do the work of God. And as a non-Catholic, I don't even know. There's none somewhere. I see some off at the grocery store, but I'm like, I don't have to join the convent. I told a relative, like, oh, I feel like doing the work of God. I feel like a nun. Like, I'm just going to volunteer my life and God will provide. This person had a grunt. And I was like, I know what that means, disapproval. But I also knew that it meant if you trust in God, then you don't trust this person that's narcissist to be a godlike figure that's going to control, manipulate, and abuse you and use you for their narcissistic fuel, their abusive fuel, their punching bag. Can't sleep at night until they abuse somebody. And since then, I had gone through the Job thing. I've gone through No One Will Help Me. I'm Noah's Ark. Like, Noah and his sons and his wife. It's like building this ark and bringing these animals in. And what happened was I'm reminding myself. When I say this stuff to you guys, I'm reminding myself. What happened was I had to, before I left this cook job yesterday, the prodigal son, he left to lose money. And as a Jewish person who was, I was going to say halal, kosher, no pork, he ended up with the pigs, cleaning up after the pigs, and he couldn't even eat. And he would try to eat the slop that the pigs were eating because he was starved to death. He finally went home. And every time I do the pork and it stinks, I'm like, I'm the prodigal son. But I'm going to come back to God, not to my earthly family. And I feel like I'm with the swine. I'm touching pork. I don't mind, but I'm vegetarian, so it's not religious. I think. I'm touching. I'm like so broke that the food that I'm handling, I can't afford, and I have to go home from work after making other people food with my stomach growling every day. And I have another job giving food samples. We're not allowed to eat the samples, even if I'm not allergic to it. We're not allowed to eat the samples. And I had to tell the customers, I don't know what it tastes like because we're not allowed to eat the samples. Even if it's $2, $4, $6, I can't afford to buy that food and bring it home to my kids. I can't afford to take the coupon for $1 off and buy a box of crackers or a bag of chips and bring it home to my kids. And again, my stomach growls when I go home after I stood up for 6 hours passing out free food to strangers. And it's really, really hard. It's like I've never been a concierge in a tower downtown getting paid minimum wage plus tips and not be able to afford to live in the place. That plus tips really helps. I don't get tips for, like, if nobody cooked the food at this place, none of the drivers would get tips, none of the managers would get tips. So it's really, really hard. If I make crappy food, they're not going to order anymore, and the tips are going to go down. So it's really, really hard. I gotta go. I'm gonna post this video. Please help me to get at least 1,000 lifetime views. I said that I didn't want to monetize my channel. I got demonetized even though I never made any money, but I did have a few commercials. I'm telling you guys, I need some help. I don't know if I can do Patreon. I really need some help, and I had a viewer, if you're still out there, told me to start a GoFundMe. If I started a GoFundMe, I'd be starting myself, and I have not one person that I could be like, hey, I'm on GoFundMe. I have not one person that I could help promote that. My rent's going up, and my business is getting I hated this. I didn't want to backfire. I have a small account through my clinic that I use for patient records, and it's free for small. If you go over a certain number, they charge you. And was really, really small. Now they're saying you gotta pay $99 a month. They don't tier it off like, oh, you have less than 20 patients. Why don't you pay $25 a month if you have 50 $50 a month if you have over 199? Like, they don't tier it off like that. Like, you guys don't connect me to imaging. You guys keep cutting off my prescription stuff. You guys, because I bill Medicaid, you won't verify the insurance. Like, I have to do all this stuff manually. It's like, if I have a low volume and 100% Medicaid, they should have a choice. Like, I don't want less features, but you have the ad revenue, and they are using our information for research. And I know they're going to get paid for that data they're selling. And so I said, just pay the $90. I was like, I can't even pay the fee for the clinic, and that rent went up. I can't pay the phone bill. And now I can't pay $100. Now I can't pay my malpractice insurance went up. Liability insurance. Like, so I'm really scared. I said, just pay the money. It's easier. You already have the stuff, or just print everything now and just let it shut off. But then I was like, we'll switch to another account. I was like, if I switch to another account, we all go in droves, and they're going to be like, well, now it's $200. And now if you went back to the old one, like, oh, anyone who grandfathered in is $99, but now we're going to charge everyone who's coming back at $199. I'm looking at how these companies, like, I don't make enough money, so I have to venture out, and that's why I had to throw down a few commercials, even though I never made a penny, and then I got taken down because I have less than 1,000 lifetime views. So please help me to get that. I know I make videos that I do short, and I don't post them because of safety issues, and I was, like, emotional, and I felt like crying this morning. I'm so tired, guys. Like, somebody wants to meet with me about something, and it's stressing me out, because usually when people meet with me, it, like, sucks the energy. Like, if it was for medicine and they're like, I want to come to an appointment for an hour, then I get ready, I do vitals, I do the intake, and that's what I'm trying to do, and I take it seriously. But if someone's trying to glean information off of me, or try to get me to join some cult or something, then I, like, take valuable time out of me and my kid's schedule, and then I'm exhausted after. It's like, Joyce Meyer used to say sometimes when she preached, she was exhausted because or people that would do those prayers or place hand on people, like, man, I'm exhausted. Like, the power of God went through them and, like, helped all these people, and their bodies literally drained. I get, like, drained. I'm an empath, but people don't take me seriously, and they won't hire me. And this one lady, I'm a doctor, she kept saying, oh, when I go to a real doctor, I'm going to do this. When I go to real, I was like, you keep saying that around me as though, like, I was like, dude, I could help you more than any of these real doctors that you're talking about. And I don't know. I have people that I see that have primary care, and it's much more challenging for them to get stuff done. Even though their office is nice and clean and shiny, more professional looking than mine, with all of the staff members running around and the medical assistants and the machines connected to the wall. But for me, I'm different. I'm a little bit different. I'm a little bit laid back, but I'm, like, super geek. And being super geek, I'm really, I don't know. It'd be like if I was a really sloppy car salesman, and I had my shirt untucked, my hair disheveled, like, dirty fingernails, like, sniffling all the time, didn't brush my teeth. But I'm like, dude, this car is great. Like, I could be like, every car anyone buys from me, they're like, dude, you are, like, your cars are legit. You didn't sell me a lemon. You didn't sell me something I get down the road and all the tires fall off, and you, like, sand it off, fill VIN number, and put on a fake one, and it's actually salvaged. Like, 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 I'd be like that type of person. Like, they don't take you seriously. You actually give you a chance. You're like, dude, that person is the best. I'm not trying to say I'm the best, but the people that see me, like, I do these treatments, and someone tried to give the treatment to someone else, and it sounded woo-woo. Like, dude, it worked for us within within the first 3 hours that the doctor left. That was me, the doctor. And they ended up, like, there's someone at my work named after someone from Star Trek, and I'm a doctor. I was like, just call me Spock. It's like, I'm so serious. Just call me Spock. I was like, Isn't he a doctor? No. There's another doctor. I gotta look at Star Trek. Peace, guys.